XPs.
We're taking live callers for this episode of D&D. First up, we've got Random Twitch Addict.
Was he already hopped in the chat? Thomas?
I don't think so.
Oh.
I was just making a red joke. Joe Wells Press. He's the top bit supporter.
Oh yeah, he is. Ooh, Desert Temple. Yeah. That'll be important. Oh, that was good up until that.
Listen, man, I can't do Dune again. You think your dices have melted this week in your favor?
Let's find out.
Ruin your nat 20. Ooh, ask and I shall receive. Guys, I almost have as many followers as the Riddler and the Batman.
Hold on, I'm gonna submit a tip to the FBI.
That's right, gang. Join me in killing the Batman with riddles.
He hates
Please don't
those.
get killed.
He's not really good at them.
Please don't get killed by
Is this the one where it's man? No, you're thinking of the riddle of the Sphinx. Ah, it's a Sphinx. No. It's that's not what I meant.
Please don't get killed by the Riddler. Please don't get killed.
If I die from anybody. Like, I love that he has that attitude even in the Arkham games, you know? He's got that sort of like, alright, look, dude.
That man,
You know you're the Riddler, right?
man doesn't have a shirt on.
He doesn't.
Do you think he has pants on?
Judging from
It's not a joystick he's using to control the Rocket League.
That's what
It's one of those fun controller games where it's his penis. So he's got to keep it erect at all times, and he's got, like, joystick attached to it. It's a very good skill. But no, I don't think that's what's happening.
I can't define pornography, but I know it when I see it.
Hey, look, yeah, 100%, it's great, but it's got nipples on it, so we're just gonna, burn it just to be safe.
Yeah, I'm feeling suicidal.
What?
What?
Heist. All.
Oh, good news, boys. I have, like, 40 Dragon's Breath in my inventory.
Yeah.
So we can make, that's 120
Yeah.
lingering potions.
If you want to do that again, I'll solo the dragon. It's fine.
Oh, yeah. It's one of those things where it's just like, I mean, it was hectic at first, but at the end of it, like,
Yeah.
it was just sort of like, hey, this is not hard. The Wither is so much harder.
Just don't look at the end and you'll be fine.
Thomas and I just cannot do that, apparently.
Apparently not.
Just like,
But it's either 45 degrees up or 90 degrees down.
I just love that it's just like, there'll be a dude from the other side who's just like, you looking at me? I'm like, why? Why do you want this? You're not supposed to want this.
Oh man, I hate it when they just literally step through you, so it's like impossible not to look at them. It's so bad.
Yeah. Like, it's like they know what they're trying to do. Like, the amount of people I've seen get killed, like, in those bridges because one just ports onto the block that you're on. No. And it's just like, what are you supposed to do at that point, you know? Unless you're really good at agility or having a Elytra.
Mm-hmm.
Or really good with an Ender Pearl.
Go. I overshot it.
They did a really good job in the generation of this, where there was so many. Oh, you can switch it to
Yeah.
to live cam if you want. They did such a good job of sort of keeping it like. It actually felt like they were their own individual islands, because like I know a lot when we played the last time, where it was just like one here, one over there, like one there, and there was like nothing of the little islands in between like there was for us, and it was just like this actually feels like a proper void. I do want to end up doing a space station off of the Ender Dragon.
Ooh.
Because it's so empty, you know?
Oh, yeah.
To just throw like a random space station over there,
Yeah.
like off in the distance.
Yeah. And then you can make a piston spaceship.
Yeah, you could do that. I still got to steal the dragon's egg. I guess that's another thing we can do on that stream. I forgot that we need to do this. Yeah, just push it this way a little. Yeah, and then you guys adjust inwards. That way the framing's a hell of a lot better. And then, yep, just adjust that, and we should be Gucci. It's always framed weird when there isn't the fourth person here. But unavoidable, because we're a four-man band.
See the doorbell ring and Preston's here.
Hey, guys, I quit my job. You seemed happy, but all right, let's play D&D.
I've decided to make D&D my full-time job.
God, I wish.
Dude, you quit being a forklift supervisor for this?
Forklift supervisor. If you let him go unsupervised,
Let's start harassing everything.
it's bad. It gets ugly quick. Alright. Where last we left off, not a lot happened chronologically. You guys finally got your long rest that you so desired. Conversations were had. Moments discussed. You had a deep conversation with the other destined group for greatness, where they apparently are going to the cringe button that they've discovered somehow. What?
I know, somehow.
It's lucky to be the guy that has all the answers. They went off on their direction. You guys could have followed them, but you stayed on your course. You made your way. You finished writing and transplacing a spell. I'll say that there was enough time for you to cast it in the vehicle as well, because you guys were on the road for the whole day, and you only needed 6 hours. So I'd say, to make up for the time that you had in conversation, and the fact that maybe we'll say your concentration was a little strained, to make up for that, I'll say that you also have a free casting of it, so you don't have to worry about that.
Okay, should we knock that out now?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking
Okay.
for. But other than that, let me just finish the recap. Actually, s'il vous plaît. The goddess of the hunt and the forest, Maliki, visited you in your long rest. Can you fix the dice cam? It's a little cockeyed. Oh, there we are. Good to go. Yeah. Where the gift of the full moon was offered. One-time benefit for the chance to be her champion, and your own little slice of the hunt and the afterlife. And then Basco had a moment or two with a drow. You guys had some realizations with the drow, why they're really here. To show the world what they can do. That they mean business. If they wanted to be a problem, they could have been. But they're not. They're good folk. You guys had a conversation with the remaining paragons about morality, and also when to fight and when to fuck off. And how you guys had a very clear objective, and that you guys are too important to lose at this point. If you guys try to fight the big guy without the support of the rest of the world. At this point, you just get slaughtered. It was too much for Crinch and his son with you guys there. What's going to be different now? Wait until you have a little bit more pieces, they said. Much to Basco's chagrin. Basco started accepting the fate that Kraethel is going to die in a few days. Some people's times have changed. His actions can change things. But sometimes, fate's just a little stronger. Which is something we've slowly learned as well. Through, the curator and his dabblings, that some things are always the same, but some things change always. And in that, you guys got off the wagon to deal with the mayor, who was not as pleased to see you as you'd expect, thinking, oh, a king's coming back, not thinking it was you three. But first, let's handle what you got going on with the magic chest.
All right.
So we'll say this happened about 30 minutes before the arrival.
Oof. I'm like pulling the big chest out of the bag of holding, and I put it into the wagon. All right, gentlemen. I think it's ready. Crack open the big lid. Take out the scroll of knowledge of Jakern.
What you got there?
Something that we have to put into the secret chest. Unfortunately, it's something that only we're allowed to know.
Not to sound like those other adventurers.
Alright.
I put it into the chest. Alright. Korvac,
I don't like those rolls.
3 people's perception.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna put a super secret thing into a super secret chest in front of you, but don't ask questions. It's gonna arouse perception checks at the very least.
Yeah.
Maybe they rolled good. Maybe they know exactly what you're putting in there. Maybe they rolled bad. Maybe it doesn't even matter and I'm just doing it to scare you.
I hate you.
So, Thomas?
So that's been put in there. Oh, I take out the Book of Clear Thought and I put it in there. I don't think I'm gonna need this, like, at my disposal.
Oh. Well, yeah, after that, I'll just say that.
Anything else that you guys would like to put in there that you don't want people to get access to? Thomas, you are aware that anytime you want to access this, you are going to have to burn a 4th level spell slot.
Yes.
Okay.
I think everything I have on me is meant to stay right on me. Yep, all looking like that. The totem of warding scry. Well, I say that settles that possible conundrum. Are you Now here's a question about this.
Mm-hmm.
You have the small chest.
Yes.
Can anybody use that?
Okay, I'm mistaken, I think. While the chest remains on the ethereal plane, you can use an action and touch the replica to recall the chest.
Oh shit.
It appears in an unoccupied space on the ground within 5 feet of you. You can send the chest back to the ethereal plane by using an action and touching both the chest and the replica. So at what part are you casting a spell? You know,
I guess to start it.
I'm like, is it once and then forever you can just send it back and forth?
I think that's DM's interpretation, because that would be kind of broken in my
I
opinion.
feel like this is a question someone might have asked.
Still requires an action, so it's not like you can just form a wall of chests at your will.
No, yeah, but it's not. When does the?
That is kind of crazy though. Think of how much stuff you could carry with you. Let me just spend an hour summoning a bunch of chests, and now we can build a castle. What level spell is this?
Level 4.
We would have couriers with this kind of skill.
Presumably.
Okay, I'm struggling to work out whether the spell only uses up a spell slot when you create the ethereal place for the chest or every time you use it. Does anyone know? I'm erring towards it only using a spell slot when created. It does say it's instantaneous, which means it implies the spell needs to be recast when using it. If it uses a spell slot every time, it seems very expensive / circumstantial. However, if it says it uses components and it's clear that they aren't used up with each use, so they copied it. Okay, yes. So to prove how good of a spell this is, you do not need to cast it again. It is the way it is now forever. You can cast it and resend it back in again regularly, like without having to spend a spell slot at all.
So I don't have to hold it as a prepared spell?
But remember that thing it says that after 60 days, there's a cumulative 5% chance per day that the spell's effect ends. The effect ends if you cast the spell again, if the smaller replica chest is destroyed, or if you choose to send the spell as an action. So basically, on the 60th day, you should probably be like, or the 50th day or whatever, I'm going to take the spell, resummon it, and then just cast the spell again to start it over. But you don't need to do that for a while. And because it's an instantaneous effect, this spell won't even work on it. It's already happened. God damn, this is a good spell.
Well, without further ado, I'm gonna touch both.
Have it for so long.
I'm gonna touch the small baby chest, and I'm gonna touch the large chest, and I'm going to.
Hold on, no. Nothing else we need to put in there.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm pretty.
No more other nukes and or orbs of disarmament or things.
Evolving kind of takes.
Should we put the filter of love in there?
It's up to you. No one can have this.
We can put the 2 silver toothpicks in there.
Oh, he had an idea with those.
Well, I know I had an idea. Just also now that he said that, I'm like, these are all of a sudden very valuable again.
I mean, it's something I can easily pull back up if needed.
Just,
Unless I die.
Yeah, I don't.
And then the chest drifts off into the
Yeah,
ethereal
especially
plane.
now that we know that he doesn't need to fucking...
Yeah.
It doesn't drift off to the ethereal plane. It follows the mini chest. It's tethered to that.
Although, yeah, it's only when it wears off.
Yep.
That it'll start drifting.
So, yeah. How about those toothpicks? About the only thing I really do not want to lose / don't use regularly.
Because you never tell a lie. Honest Abe over here.
Well, they have a purpose.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
just gonna go ahead.
Oh, do they?
Ish. Maybe.
It would have been better if you had the persuasive ones, but you guys took the lie ones. So you got to find a thing that's a lie. And most of the things you want to do is more of a persuasion.
Yeah.
Telling him this isn't what your wife wouldn't want, it wouldn't really be a deception. It's also a matter of your opinion, so it's kind of persuasion.
I'm sure there's some sort of lie we can work out.
That makes you the monsters.
We talked to your wife. She says you should join us.
We went back in time and talked to your wife. No, we raised your wife.
Well, that's 2 different lies.
True.
So you'd have to use both. 2 toothpicks. You talk to your wife. Because then you didn't want to do this. Pew, pew. Well, I can't find any flaws in the logic there. I guess I'm on your side. Let's kill Malin.
I also suggested we should just skip Malin and just fucking use the toothpicks on the Praetorian instead.
Your dad didn't want this. Fuck, you're right. I'm just gonna go get high instead. Alright, you cast your chest, you put it in there.
Burn the spell slot.
Yep, 4th level. And you're good forever.
Yeah, got the little box with me. Put it.
If 2 more months happen in this campaign, I'm gonna be very surprised. I'm just saying.
I mean, how many months have passed into 2 years that we've been playing this campaign?
3, 4.
Yeah.
It's been about 4 or 5, maybe half a year at this point. I will say this though. You know, you should probably look closer. Like how many of the last sessions time has really been covered, and that's when it sort of
Gets fucky.
yeah. That's when it's really like minute for minute equal translation. That's when you know shit's getting important.
Yeah.
You pull out in your carriages. Let me get my list of players. Big bands playing, not as big as the one that set you off on your departure because it is a smaller terrain. But lots of people here to see you, excited. Some of them were. But you make your way off and out stands in front of you a man in a slightly more expensive but still not all that impressive suit with a top hat. Is the mayor.
Well, how's it going, Mayor? Long time no see.
How is it you two? How can it be you two? Again. What is it? 3, 4? How many of you are there?
3 at the moment.
How many of you actually are there? No funny names or drips or drapes? You're not like the 5 guys still?
The 3 fellas.
Then who's that? And he points to Krathel.
Well, he's more of a Basco exclusive feature. I don't get the benefit.
Welcome to my city, of course. Still private city of the Privence Corporation. I'm the mayor, of course. You have lodgings, actually in the same place you were last time. It is been improved and whatnot. He's still just very clearly like kings. I thought kings were showing up, like Harry and Talar and Dabengar, but no, it's we fucked this dude's wife. Ha ha!
We'd love to get a drink of you later.
We have a dinner planned in an hour. I will be there. Yes.
Sounds like a good time.
Like old times.
Yes, I thought we were long past those sorts of affairs, but I guess here we are.
I guess fate has a sense of humor, doesn't it?
Yes. Yes, it does. It really, really does.
You seen Ortho's face when he saw us. He was like, wow, I didn't expect to ever see you guys again.
It's an actual city, though, not privately ran. He could retire if he wanted to.
What? You can't retire?
Remember, not only is this an elected official, he's still an employee of the Privence Corporation, as are most of the people here. He's working towards a pension. He's working towards a retirement plan. He's got a career thing. He's got to put in his time here.
Corvax's like, you're a slave.
If he wants to be vice president of the Normir Path, he's got to put in his time as mayor of Normir, and that's sort of like, I can't, if I stop now, me and Martha aren't going to have that retirement we want, so.
Hire him to be a court jester for you.
Why? That's so rude and cruel.
Yes.
What was like the time
He pays 6 figures.
My emotional funny man. Silly guy.
Like the time we got the contract signed in Preston's campaign where we made the Hand of the King a fucking has-been actor.
Yeah. So, Mayor continues, he greets everybody, he goes down all the carriages, shakes hands to whoever will shake hands with him. The first man does not, because he doesn't really want to communicate with anyone. He ends up going off and doing his own thing. people, have a meet and greet. Darien, has tons of fans. He's immediately coming out and whoa, shaking hands, kissing babies, kissing ladies, that sort of thing. Naslin and Rainey both sort of immediately head towards the lodgings. Rackdell sorts of stays around the mayor, kind of other employees of Privence sort of relaying messages from his father, that sort of thing. Graff, Tybalt, and Nesmith Nesmith and Naslin hanging out together is a great choice on my part. They all sort of hang in a group. They're used to getting more praise than they used to. They used to being on the same level of Darien. But there's more people sort of pointing at you guys and talking about you guys than even recognizing them. Because you guys also getting very large amount of sort of, that's the reason why, if not we're alive, why we're here. They're the guys that saved this entire investment from the beginning. First Man, nobody knows who the fuck that even is. It just looks like a gigantic person that's about, taller than the average man by a lot. He is taller than you.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, and he's a human, so everybody's just like, Jesus fucking Christ, that guy drank his milk.
I always imagined looking up to the First Man, even as a Goliath.
Yeah. He's basically a Primarch, of a Warhammer universe. What's up?
Turn him into a werewolf.
What? Does he need that?
I think he regenerates faster than the werewolf blood would be able to, or what would you call that? Disease, I guess? The lycanthropy disease would course through his veins. He's immune to all sorts of
Disease.
Poisons, disease,
Oh my god, if you considered this a disease and I started raging and just immediately was cured of it, that would be awful.
Well, the thing is, the way you always got to consider is it's a disease until it affects you, and then that's just sort of a thing that you are. That's because it's magical like that.
Yeah.
And then I think it's a curse or whatever you wanted to call it. But regardless,
Ain't gonna work.
The biology ain't gonna work on him. He's too powerful. Krathel, of course, stays by Vasco's side. Ravengar. Not many people can identify the head of the Royal Guard for Davengar off the top of their head. So to him, he just looks like a big old scary orc man with a scary sword. That's not anything he's ashamed of.
No, I know.
To be around you guys is already kind of proof enough that he's a badass. And then Tamlin gets a lot of, what the fuck is that?
Oh, yeah.
Double dare dragon man, twin dragon at the same time with a fucking cage on his skull. But
Think how less threatening he would look without the cage.
Oh, if he was just a burn victim like he was originally?
No, the double dragon bits. And
oh yeah,
he would be more on the cool spectrum than the scary.
Oh yeah, that guy's badass. Why would he? Does he need that because he's gonna bite people?
Yeah, exactly. A giant muscle.
Is that what that is? It's actually, it's to contain my thoughts. That's not better.
He takes it off. It's oh god.
Eldritch knowledge. No, it is something you cannot take off once you put it on.
Oh.
Yeah. That was gonna be one of those things Zaris figured out once he did. It's a whole thing, but Tamlin don't give a fuck. He just has a slightly longer fork. But no, he takes it in stride. He's not ashamed. He sort of tilts the head up to it. And it's just they're looking at me. Not out of fear, as he originally maybe perceived. Maybe some. Maybe it's a little bit of fear. Fear of the unknown. Fear of looking frightening. Because he is a little scary. But in a world of gods walking amongst men and eternals and powerful beings, he's grown enough as a person to realize that just because they're looking at me doesn't mean I should be ashamed. They don't know what I am, which is reasonable.
I need to ask, what shape is this cage? Is it square or is it rounded?
It's cylindrical,
Okay, cylindrical.
like, tall.
Okay.
When he climbs ladders, it goes ding, 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 ding.
You're thinking of the weird pyramid one.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's the one that does it. I mean, I think the cage probably would also do it. That video, you remember, of him sliding down the head is the giant pyramid one. That's the ones that the big ladies are wearing.
Yeah.
Speaking of the big ladies and Thoreau,
Do they got fans?
no, they got a lot of turned up eyes and looks and. What's that? A drow. Is that so and so? Because at this point, you know, his name's been in the news. You know, new allies, but old traditions die hard, especially in a rural place such as this.
Are we gonna witness some racism today?
Would you be racist to a man with magical powers that are unknown and to two walking tanks?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Especially when you have a shaky alliance and you know you're going to need all the help you can get. Because you know it would be great right before the world's largest undead army crashes into your gates and you're not wholly unprepared? A quick civil war. Just a quick civil
Bit of
war.
discourse.
As a treat.
Yeah, we'll knock it out in a day or two.
Some war
We'll
crime.
call it the 36-hour war or whatever.
We'll completely eliminate the drow off the face of the earth.
Yeah, crash another big rock into it.
Before
That's
every
what the
battle.
power of the full moon is.
Before every battle, we just let our soldiers do a bit of war crime
Just a bit of war crime.
as a treat.
We talked to Preston. We gave him the same precipice that we gave you about what he thought the power of the full moon was. And he, for a second, genuinely believed it was crashing the other moon onto the planet.
Why would we do that?
And it's just sort of one of those things where it's just like, hey, bud, how devastating was the smallest moon crashing onto the Earth? The second smallest moon is so much bigger than that one was. It would decimate the planet. Like, that's even worse than Comet being cast.
Yeah. Which moon is it going to be, I wonder? Or is it just going to be unique?
Well, when the full moon typically goes off, it's the big moon that's completely full, and the other one is sort of also golden lit up, kind of like attached, like budding off of it, sort of, is the best way to describe it. And it always is a little different month to month because of rotations, but it always seems to just be like, it's always in the picture, even if it's not fully, but it's more the main moon that's getting illuminated.
Gotcha.
Sometimes you see a little bit of shadow on the moon just because of, you know, the way things are angled. But that's what makes the worlds different. Every full moon's just a little different. But it's always a full moon.
Hey, would you do me a favor at some stage? Scry on Quarth.
Again.
Yeah.
But again, it's been 2 days!
Well, I was just thinking, like,
I mean, fair. Trust me, guys. Trust you to do what?
you also need to scry on the other adventuring party.
Let's see how many we can get off.
Thank God you have unlimited. What are you worrying about?
You'll get a headache.
We don't want that.
I've had to read.
Oh, I'm just, my pain threshold for head trauma is awful.
But you're in Normir. Dust in the wind. You'd call it an early night. You could revisit old flings. See how Sal's Gold Shinies are doing, or Sam Smith's Silver.
I imagine there's some sort of guard contingent on the wall.
Oh yeah, 100%. Even more so now. A lot of the soldiers that are coming, so there was multiple detentions of soldiers that came. A lot of them stayed back at River Run that are making for larger transit. You also came with an extra detachment that was meant to plus up the guard here, even as a temporary basis, because all the ones you left at River Run are still coming too. It's just, you know, you can only send so many people on that small road. It hasn't been that improved. But even that, you know, you see members of Basco's Royal Guard on the fence. You see them making a perimeter around the tavern. You see Dijon's people intermittently putting on the wall. Like, security is at an utmost right now. Even if it is, like, minimal, there's just so many people there that minimal looks way more than anything you'd expect. for a small town like this normally.
Still want to kind of go up to being on top of that gate and just.
I closed it myself one day, you know. And that was before the werewolf. Hi, Korvac. I'm the first werewolf.
I just really want.
Your friend killed my best friend.
Yep. He sure did.
I can bring him back.
I don't think he can.
Resurrection.
It disintegrated.
What was left of them, bud?
We were a pile of dust.
Give me their dust.
I scraped all the dust of my dad up in this bag. It's just two monster and like a Cronenberg nightmare mess of both men.
God.
What is new?
It's either that or dead. What do you want, kids? You got both your dads back. 2 for the price of 1.
Well, really, I just want to like look over and just reminisce about the goblin invasion. Reminisce. It was like, wow, this is what
So
we used to do.
You walk to the western wall, and there's little kids following you the entire way. There's adults who and ha you. There are young fair maidens swooning. You're not noticing any of that. It's very much a